This is a photo of American protesters during World War II, before we actually entered the war. You see, before we landed our troops in Europe and Asia, we were involved in something called Lend Lease, where we were giving weapons to Russia and England so they could fight Germany and the other Axis powers. And even though this was World War II, just like today, the strongest criticism against America Lend Lease towards England and Russia when they were fighting the Nazis came from conservatives. They said that it was Europe's problem, not ours. Look at these signs. Lend Lease, lose lives. Why not peace with Hitler? Hitler has not attacked us. Why attack Hitler? Arm Britain and prolong the war. Do you get the picture? What the conservatives did in World War II and what they're doing now with the Ukraine-Russia war is that they are hiding behind this fake shield of not wanting to waste America taxpayer dollars or American involvement in something that has nothing to do really with us. While in actuality, during World War II, these were German sympathizers. They just couldn't say it at the time. There were a lot of German sympathizers holding office and huge positions of corporate power. In fact, up until the late 1930s, America was very friendly with Germany because we saw them as a buffer against communist Russia. But once Hitler invaded Poland, that's when America said, no, okay, this guy's actually... And I'm sure a lot of you are asking, how is what Russia is doing now with Ukraine similar to what Germany was doing to Europe during World War II? Aren't they two different things? And hasn't America used a similar excuse when they invaded Afghanistan or Iraq or Vietnam? Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, these were not powerful countries that could take over large parts of the world and establish an authoritarian dictatorship like Nazi Germany could, or current-day Russia. Look at the amount of land that Germany ended up controlling by the end of World War II. And Russia is trying to do the same thing, except they're coming in from the east. Russia has made the excuse of invading Ukraine because they are trying to save the oppressed Russian minorities who are on the eastern border of Ukraine. Germany said the same thing before World War II when they overtook the Sudetenland in Czechoslovakia to free the oppressed German minorities. You see the similarities? Now, you may be convinced that today's Republicans don't want us involved in the Ukraine war because we're spending too much money on it. We have spent about $76.8 billion from our defense budget to give to the people of Ukraine or to help them out. The size of the United States economic output, it's called the GDP, is about $25 trillion. So that $76 billion is about 1/3% of our total GDP. So right now, we are using 1/3% of our economic output to take down a country, Russia, our greatest military and diplomatic threat. Their economy is about $2.27 trillion. So we are taking down this enemy for literally pennies to our dollars. And since Russia and China are each other's best allies at this point, China has a weak ally, which means they have less power to threaten U.S. interests. Now, if Russia does manage to take Ukraine, there's no way they would dare attack a NATO country, but I would not be surprised if they try to make incursions into Moldova right there, or as time progressed, if they started trying to make more incursions to reclaim their old Soviet territory. The reason why Russia could get away with attacking those countries is because those are non-NATO countries. A victorious and expanding Russia means more authoritarianism, less freedom of thought, less freedom of trade. The world will become a darker place if that ever comes to pass. And the Republicans, who are trying to resist stopping them now, are the same people who would have tried to have stopped assistance in stopping Hitler.